It's Friday, December 8th. In the headlines, all major crimes are down by 11%, and farmers to receive millions in support from the government. In business news, rising food prices across the region, a cause for concern. Regionally, U.S. affirms unwavering support for Guyana. And in sports, Windies and England teams arrive in BIM. This is the Weekend News on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson says all major crimes are down by 11%. The nation's top cop broke down the latest crime statistics while speaking with Nationwide's Tyrone Reed at the St. Elizabeth PD General Conference and Award Ceremony. Here are the details.
The police commissioner says the figures for major crimes are now lower when compared to those recorded in 2022.
Murders tends to be the one that people focus on heavily, which is understandable. We're 10% below now at this point. We only have a few weeks to go to the end of the year. So we're looking at holding that.
He also responded to reports that no murder has been recorded in Clarendon since the imposition of a state of public emergency there.
And also, not just Clarendon, but, we put them in those areas that are most violent. Mm-hmm. And, as it has always done, is just shut it down pretty quickly once we impose those states of emergency in those spaces.
And this goes against those who, because you continually hear the argument that the states of public emergency are not working.
Yeah, but they don't. Those arguments are based on numbers. From the very first one, we know from the very first one that year when we imposed them, we had a 72% drop in murders in St. James.
Yes.
From 340 down to 102. We've never been back there since.
And that one that was notoriously not extended, and an extension was requested.
Right. But, this is... So I don't want to get into the political discussion around states of emergency, but from a technical and practical perspective, they're always given a reduction. So I'm not sure how they don't work. They do work.
One should be guided that public emergency is an extraordinary situation that sometimes harbors negative effects. When an SOE is called, the government grants the security forces temporary additional powers. These include powers of a search of a person or building without a warrant, powers of arrest or detention for up to 7 days without a warrant, power to curtail operating hours of businesses. Melvin Pennant, PBCJ News.
The government has initiated a flood response program to address the immediate needs of farmers affected by the recent heavy rains. Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green, shared the details while addressing the House of Representatives this week.
Minister Green says $15 million will be made available to help livestock farmers.
We will be providing $64 million to help and treat with damage that has been done to our farm road network.
He says priority will be given to rehabilitating farm roads to ensure access to produce. He adds that focus will also be on replanting crops as well.
Who are farmers of pigs, sheep, and goats. And that is in addition, Mr. Speaker, to $50 million which we had provided earlier in November. We will also be providing $8 million to treat with small tools and equipment replacement, and we'll be providing $70 million to help our vegetable and crop farmers. In total, members of the House, the government is providing $157 million to help our farmers recover and recover quickly.
For the news on PBCJ, I'm Danita Rodney.
Jamaica has brokered a partnership with security officials in the United States to strengthen Jamaica's maritime borders. Prime Minister Andrew Holness shared the developments on his social media pages, noting that, quote, Jamaica's comprehensive security plan, Plan Secure Jamaica, and opportunities for strategic reciprocal partnership with the United States that will advance our realization of several national security objectives, end quote. He also noted opportunities to partner in combating the guns for drugs trade, explaining that, quote, having identified guns from the United States as a major player in Jamaica's crime problem, we continue to advocate for greater effort on the part of the U.S. in launching an assault on guns, end quote. The Prime Minister says his administration is seeking to collaborate with the United States in building Jamaica's internal capacity to respond to regional natural disasters, especially in a context where Jamaica's usual partners might be preoccupied with their own issues. The Prime Minister issued the update while on a working visit to Washington, D.C. in the United States this week. He was scheduled to leave that country on December 7. LASCO Foundation, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and Youth, has awarded the 2023 Principal and Teacher of the Year. Lenita Rodney has the details.
3 educators chosen from a pool of 130 nominees on Tuesday was awarded for their outstanding work in the education sector. St. Andrew High School for Girls chemistry teacher Franklin Burrell was named the LASCO Ministry of Education and Youth Jamaica Teaching Council 2023 Teacher of the Year. Principal of Belmont Academy in Westmoreland, Ryan Simpson, was named Principal of the Year, and Eileen Kohal-Bailey from the Manning School was named Technical and Vocational Education and Training Teacher of the Year. Minister of Education and Youth Favour Williams, in congratulating the educators, thanked them for their commitment to excellence and noted that the role they play in the development of young minds and lives is beyond significant.
Every single work of art has high intrinsic value and deserves to be protected. In the upcoming feature, we will learn about the intellectual property rights in the world of the creative arts.
There's a land that I have heard about.
Every piece of creative work is designed with intent and holds high intrinsic value. It deserves to be protected. Understanding the intrinsic value of the work produced and ensuring the creator's rights are not infringed is what we will learn in this masterclass on intellectual property rights. Let's go. Intellectual property, IP, deals with the protection of legal rights for the original creations of the mind. This can range from the scientific, industrial, literary, artistic, musical, dramatic, or other fields. There are 3 major forms of protection for intellectual property: copyright, patents, and trademarks. In this feature, the focus will be on copyright and related rights. In Jamaica, there are 2 main pieces of legislation that govern the protection of copyrights in general: the Copyright Act and the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office Act. The Intellectual Property Office Act outlines the function of the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office JIPO, the body responsible for ensuring that intellectual property rights (IPR) are protected. JIPO is tasked with ensuring the protection, administration, and enforcement of IPRs as a national economic growth and development responsibility. Let's learn how copyright helps to protect your creative works. Copyright is one of the more widely known terms associated with intellectual property rights. It covers the creators of works in the literary, artistic, musical, dramatic, and other design fields. Copyright makes it possible for these creators to have exclusive rights to use or authorize use of their work on agreed terms. A work is copyright protected automatically once created and must be original in nature. This principle was adopted from the International Copyright Convention, the Berne Convention for the Protection of Literary and Artistic Works, of which Jamaica is a party. Another important layer of copyright protection is using the copyright symbol to give an official notice of ownership of your work. This is done by using the copyright symbol, the date of creation, which is usually the year, plus your name or entity, followed by an optional notice such as "all rights reserved." There are 2 main rights that are covered under copyright: economic rights and moral rights. Economic rights protect the financial value of the works and allow creators to earn from its use. Meanwhile, moral rights protect the right to the use of the work. They help to moderate the ways in which the work can be used and restrict revisions to a work. The length of time for copyright protection varies in different countries. Under the Berne Treaty, of which Jamaica is a party, along with another 180 countries, copyright holders will receive protection in these territories subjected to their national laws. In Jamaica, the protection for literary, dramatic, musical, and artistic works lasts for the lifetime of the author, plus 95 years after his or her death. Copyright for sound recordings and films lasts for 95 years from the end of the year in which it was made available to the public. The protection for cable programs and broadcasts lasts for 95 years from the end of the year when the program was included in a cable program service or the broadcast was made. The protection for typographic arrangement, such as books, lasts for 50 years from the year in which the edition was first published. All works enter the public domain once copyright ends and are therefore no longer protected under intellectual property rights law.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to the Business Report. I'm Denise Williams. Today we bring you a snapshot of key stories impacting the business landscape. Let's dive in. First up, there are alarming trends in the Caribbean. The World Food Programme reports a staggering 10.2% rise in food prices across 20 English and Dutch-speaking Caribbean nations. Particularly concerning are the spikes in Suriname, which is 68.3%, Barbados 19.6%, Jamaica 14.8%, and Guyana 13.4%. The latest CARICOM survey paints a grim picture, revealing a 46% increase in the food insecure population over the last 6 months. The numbers speak for themselves. An additional 1.4 million persons across the Caribbean now face food insecurity. Moving from food insecurity to Forex. On December 7, 2023, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $13 million was bought from Forex traders while US $10 million was sold to Forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollars for $156.56 and bought the US dollars for $155.07. The difference between the buy and the sell rate was $1.49, which represents a profit for Forex traders. The Bank of Jamaica also orchestrated transactions with the Canadian dollar, yielding a profit for traders of $6.28. The Canadian dollar was sold at $115.99 and bought for $109.71. The difference culminating in a $6.28 profit spread for Forex traders. Similarly, traders focusing on the British pound pocketed a profit of $8.83, selling it for $197.65 and buying it for $188.82. Now moving from Forex to the stock market. The winners on the Jamaica Stock Exchange for December 7th were moved by extremely small trading volumes. 138 Student Living Jamaica variable preference share advanced 26.77%, up by $24 to close at $114, with only one share traded. ISP Finance Services Limited shares advanced 25%, or $6, to close at $30, with 30 shares traded. Sterling Investments Limited advanced 14.81%, or up 32 cents to close at $2.48, with only 21 shares traded. Now, there was much more activity in the market where the stock prices fell. Siboney Group Limited declined by 22.7%, or lost 32 cents off of its share price and closed trading at $1.13, with over 490,000 shares traded. The Jamaica Stock Exchange declined by 9.85%, or lost $1 off of its price to close at $9.15 with 3,200 shares traded. Medical disposable and supplies declined by 9.09%, or 30 cents was wiped off its price to close at $3 with 4,900 shares traded. Now, crossing over to the Trinidad Stock Exchange, the first tier market recorded 121,000 shares valued at TT $1.8 million. Prestige Holdings Limited led with 47,000 shares worth 441,000 Trinidad dollars, followed by Grace Kennedy Limited with 21,000 shares valued at Trinidad $86,000. Now moving from Forex to stock market and now real estate. The diaspora of the Caribbean and Jamaica is encouraged to buy real estate in Jamaica, according to IslandOriginMagazine.com. With skyrocketing real estate prices and fierce competition for limited inventory in major U.S. cities, savvy investors are looking to Jamaica for prime property opportunities. According to Realtor.com, in New York City, the median home price was US $725,000 as of February 2023, while a home in the corporate area in Jamaica has a median price of US $490,000. This reality makes Jamaica much more attractive, particularly as property values continue to consistently rise. Time now for our credit score tip of the day. Consistent on-time payments are crucial for maintaining a positive credit history. Late payments can significantly impact your credit score. To avoid missing due dates, set up payment reminders. You can use calendar alerts on your phone, set up automatic payments, or use budgeting apps that offer payment reminder features. By staying organized and ensuring that you make payments on time, you not only avoid late fees, but also contribute positively to your credit history. Timely payments are a key factor in building and maintaining a good credit score over time. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams. Thank you for joining us. Stay informed, stay ahead. Until next time.
Thanks, Denise. In regional news, G20 countries are being urged to pay up as it relates to climate financing promised to small islands developing states in the south. The call comes from the Commonwealth Secretary General, Baroness Patricia Scotland. She maintains that G20 countries are the largest contributors to the climate crisis.
The promises that the global world made to those developing countries have not yet been met. So we were promised in 2009, $100 billion. We know we need $4 trillion a year if we are going to get to net zero by 2050. We're nowhere near that now, and we need to be. So coming out of this COP, we are delighted that I'm hearing it's about 800 million now that we have in relation to the loss and damage fund. But we know we're going to need so much more. So I'm hoping that we will get an understanding that the money had to be delivered fast and fairly. We were pushing that and saying that business needed to be there to be part of the solution instead of just being part of our problem. We had to include them. We had to work with them. We had to make it clear that this was their future as well as ours. And slowly and surely, business has come to the table. And we're at a tipping point, I believe, in terms of getting green energy to be seen as cheaper, better, more effective, more sustainable than the use of fossil fuels. And I've always believed that when it became cheaper, better, easier to go green than to stay with fossil fuel, that would be the impetus for people to start to change.
As Venezuela heightens its aggressions towards Guyana by redrawing its map and ordering companies out of the country's territory, the United States of America has reaffirmed its unwavering support for Guyana's sovereignty. In a release issued by the U.S. Department of State, it was revealed that Guyana's President Dr. Irfaan Ali and U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken engaged each other following Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's new pronouncements. President Ali told CNN on Wednesday that Mr. Maduro went beyond on Tuesday when he announced administrative measures to annex Essequibo and give investors 3 months to exit from Essequibo's exclusive economic zone.
We have also heard, we're talking about the region and what you're hearing, we've also heard from President Lula of Brazil, and he's calling for common sense. Those are his words. We've also heard from the U.S. State Department, Mr. President, you've seen that, calling for a peaceful resolution on the border dispute between Venezuela and Guyana. Do you feel that these comments go far enough? Do you think that the region is doing enough to denounce Maduro's provocation here?
So CARICOM has issued a very strong statement. The OAS has issued very strong statement. Commonwealth has issued very strong statement. We are working now with CELAC so that CELAC can issue a very strong statement. I think President Lula also sent a team into Venezuela to have discussions with President Maduro and his team. That team came back, and what we saw is that Brazil has increased their presence on their border with Venezuela. President Lula has given me assurance that Brazil stands strongly with Guyana, and that they would not see any reckless behavior by Venezuela. We are working now with SOUTHCOM, the Department of Defense and State Department of the U.S., and hopefully within the next 24 hours, a lot of strong statements and strong communication to Venezuela will be released.
A total of 180 students across the Twin Island Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis were recipients of the Embassy of the Republic of China Taiwan Annual Monetary Scholarship. Here's more in this report.
The ceremony was held under the auspices of His Excellency Michael Lin, Resident Ambassador of the Republic of China Taiwan, Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education. Acknowledging the long-standing unilateral relationship between Taiwan and St. Kitts and Nevis, Ambassador Lin stated, "The government of the Republic of China Taiwan and the government of St. Kitts and Nevis have been working together over the past years to promote the human resource development of the Federation by way of Human Resources Development Project. This is an annual program that provides scholarships to the students in St. Kitts and Nevis, and it also supports with teaching and learning resources that benefit not only students but also the faculty of the schools in the Federation." Ambassador Lin congratulated the awardees. The Education Minister extolled Taiwan for the magnanimity of unwavering support and assistance to the development of the nation's human resource. The Education Minister said the funds from the scholarship are to be used to assist students with furthering their education. "I firmly believed that we should not take for granted the tremendous sacrifice, generosity, and renewed partnership that the people of the Republic of China Taiwan continue to display year after year. The high level of loyalty has not gone unnoticed. The Ministry of Education and the people of our Federation are very grateful for your selfless contribution to the development of our people, which is our greatest resource," the Education Minister said. The Taiwanese Monetary Scholarship is a joint human resource development project between the Ministry of Education and the Republic of China, Taiwan. I'm Andre Huey for SKN Newsline.
In sports, we're in the creases with cricket. West Indies and England have arrived in Barbados for the third and final CG United One-Day International on Saturday and the first T20 on Tuesday at Kensington Oval. On Thursday, just after 10 o'clock, both teams touched down at the Grantley Adams International Airport from Antigua ahead of the two highly anticipated matches. Speaking to members of the media on arrival, West Indies head coach Darren Sammy said the team is glad to be in Barbados. He also says clinching victory is now the focus for the West Indies.
All the guys look forward to playing at the Kensington Oval. You know, I'm pretty sure it's the same for the English men as well. You know, the captain Shea Hope, you know, loves batting in Barbados. You know, and just just the atmosphere, you know, and the history that ground brings. You know, I hopefully that could motivate, you know, our boys in a series decider, and we come up, you know, with the goods that will help us to win. I believe we've prepared well, and you know, I'm pleased with the preparation that we put in and the work that the guys put in. And it's now, once that bell ring, all the things we speak about, the plans that we put together, it's up to us now as a group, or 11 that go out there, to go out and execute it. You know, we showed that we could do it in the first game, and I have full confidence that the guys could go out and do it. And they know what's at stake. Everybody knows what's at stake, to still be in a position where we could win, and that's the mentality I'm trying to bring to this group. We don't want to compete. We want to win games and make sure the wins are closer together, you know, and hopefully come on the 9th, we could do that against England.
Kensington Oval has received a passing grade by International Cricket Council as one of the host venues for the Caribbean next year's T20 World Cup. On Thursday morning, ICC officials did a walkthrough and inspection of the facility. CBC's Anmar Goodrich-Broyce was there and filed this report.
Kensington Oval has been tested, approved and trusted as one of the host venues for next year's ICC T20 World Cup. And this morning there was an inspection of the facility, and from all reports, officials are pleased with what they have seen. ICC's senior manager Tulsa Woodham described Kensington Oval as a world-class sporting venue and has expressed delight with the Barbados government and the Barbados Cricket Association for maintaining its high standards. He said at this stage the ICC is satisfied with Kensington as one of the host grounds.
We've had a good presentation this morning from BCA, also some government officials as well. So it was heartening to see that everything seems to be on track and where we would like it to be. We're reviewing, as I said, all the aspects of the venue to make sure that our requirements fit the purpose of what we need. So everywhere from players and match officials areas to media, hospitality, the ground itself, and even the training facilities which we saw yesterday. So we just want to make sure that we are here to deliver, and with our host Cricket West Indies, an exceptional, safe, secure and exciting and fun global event, which is what we want to do in 2024.
From a Cricket West Indies point of view, Head of Operations KJ Singh said a preliminary inspection was done in April, which covered areas such as the players' quarters, pitch, outfield, hospitality boxes and broadcast booths. And on this second assessment, the region's Mecca has passed the test.
It seems like everything is in place so far. From our venue inspection yesterday at the practice facilities, we're on track. And definitely here, I mean, as we're hosting the West Indies versus England tour, next up is here in Barbados. We have the privilege to bring the ICC to a almost completed stadium to host an international match, which they're pleased with. And from the indications this morning from both from COMI, BCA and government representatives, everything seems to be on track right now.
Singh said the T20 World Cup being held in the Caribbean provides the opportunity for the islands to improve their stadiums in line with the ICC requirements. He also revealed that digital boards and cable suspended camera systems will be in place, adding to the experience for viewers at home.
And that's the news on PBCJ. Have a great weekend.